Happy holidays and welcome back to another non-politically divisive episode in our Christmas travel series. We're here in Washington, D.C., one of my favorite destinations in the whole U.S. There's actually a lot of things you can do around Christmas to really enjoy it, so come along as we explore this awesome city. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. D.C. isn't technically in any state, but it lies on the border between Virginia and Maryland on the east coast of the U.S. There are some very amazing sights in town and the surrounding area, from the gorgeous neoclassical architecture to the powerful memorials. But everything in town gets a little more special during the Christmas season. Any trip to the U.S. Capitol starts around the beautiful National Mall, and a Christmas visit is no different. The many free museums are always a good choice, but the must-see museum to visit during the holidays is the U.S. Botanic Garden, on the south side of the mall adjacent to Capitol Hill. At this time of year, it's no longer just a botanical garden. From late November through December, the facility becomes a Christmas model train exhibit. The model trains are fun, but the coolest part is the miniature replicas of classic train stations around the United States and the world. Plus, they have models of many of DC's iconic landmarks. Right outside the U.S. Botanic Garden is Capitol Hill, the home of the United States Capitol building. This is where you can see the U.S. Capitol tree. There's also a great view across the reflecting pool of the Washington Monument. If you head up Delaware or Louisiana Avenues, you'll reach Union Station, with its iconic giant wreaths welcoming visitors. Inside, the main hall feels like a less stressful, slower-paced version of New York's Grand Central Terminal. There's another holiday train display, plus a giant tree donated from Norway. So far in this series, I've kept food specifics out of the conversation, but in DC, there is one place I would be ashamed not to mention. Up Pennsylvania Avenue from Capitol Hill, you can find DC Penn Quarter, home of some of the best burgers you can find at a restaurant. Their motto isn't burgers, beer, and bourbon for nothing. This is also a good place to take a break before heading to the downtown Holiday Market on 8th and F Streets. Like the other holiday markets mentioned in this series, you can find lots of local craft goods, plus hot coffee and some holiday snacks. The market usually ends before Christmas Eve, but it is open from around 12 to 8 p.m. each day. If you come to DC, regardless of the time of year, the White House is usually on people's must-see lists. At Christmas, they even have the National Christmas Tree. I'm sure it's a beautiful sight, but I was there during a government shutdown, so it wasn't lit up. Be sure to go during the day if there is a shutdown while you visit, or it may be dark for you as well. The DC area has a few other sites to visit outside of downtown and the National Mall, which are really worth checking out. A short drive north of downtown is the Smithsonian National Zoological Park. The DC Zoo has a special nighttime event throughout the holiday season called Zoo Lights. During Zoo Lights, the zoo gets covered in Christmas lights with some animal-themed displays. There's also a merry-go-round and some food trucks for snacks. This free event is great for kids, but it can be pretty empty on a rainy evening, and nearby parking is expensive, so prepare accordingly. As mentioned before, Washington, D.C. has a lot of very powerful memorials. The most striking for me has to be the Arlington National Cemetery, right across the Potomac from the Lincoln Memorial. The massive final resting place of almost 500,000 veterans and spouses sees around 3 million visitors each year. During the holiday season, Wreaths Across America places wreaths at graves in more than 1,600 cemeteries, including Arlington. The endless rows of white grave markers with green and red wreaths is a striking view, especially if you happen to catch it after a snowfall. While at Arlington National Cemetery, please be sure to show respect by refraining from running and being loud, and pay attention to signs asking for silence. If you don't think you'll be able to do that, maybe think twice about visiting the cemetery. The final important stop outside of downtown DC is just down the interstate at National Harbor, Maryland. This is a really cool area that feels like a mini city, with a nice waterfront, some shopping and hotels, and even some apartments. The waterfront includes a good-sized Ferris wheel, plus a massive Christmas tree. Walking around the streets of this little town is really cool, but on the south edge of this area lies the most impressive hotel here, Gaylord National Hotel. If you checked out our previous Nashville Christmas guide, link in the description, you'll recognize the name. Like Nashville's Gaylord Opryland Hotel, the one here at National Harbor has a big atrium, indoor ice skating, and an ice exhibit. Unlike Opryland, however, the main atrium at Gaylord National has enough space for a trapeze show, which is very popular with younger kids. National Harbor has a couple parking garages, so it shouldn't be too hard to find a place to park. All in all, Washington, D.C. is one of my favorite travel destinations in the United States, and around Christmas, it's just a little bit more fun. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Christmas travel series here on Modern Travel Guide. It's been fun hanging out in DC, but I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna get a burger. See you in the next one. Alright guys, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to give it a like and share it. And if you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And comment below what you think of Washington, D.C.